Time for the update, the resultanizer. It's week 7. Well, week 7's in the books, and some of the stupidest things that have ever happened in our league happened this weekend. I can't wait to tell you about them. Well, really, it's just one, but there are a couple things that I really want to tell you about. So we're going to start with this again. What the? All right. I hate that. I mean, a lot of us are like in the internet, and the idea of a song automatically loading when you go to a page is like, what is this, 1997? Come on, Yahoo. A lot of us work for Yahoo. In 1997, perhaps, or close. All right, so we're going to start with the, well, it is loosely termed a game between the Laser Spaniels and Jamarcus's Bentley. And I got to tell you, I mean, Arian Foster really cost me this game because he was on bye. So to update the Arian thing, Adrian Peterson did outperform Arian Foster this week because Arian was on bye. So, you know, I guess you guys were right. You know, here's the crazy thing. If you had told me that the Patriots were 5-1 and that Brady was still, you know, vertical, I would say that surely he's kicking some butt. And he is in a football sense, but in the fantasy football nerd sense, he's not doing so great. So 22 from Brady was my big contribution, except for Rob Baronis. I mean, 14 points from that guy. 92 points for the Laser Spaniels. Now, sadly, there are 2 of you I would have beaten last week. But this team is just really pitiful. And Jamarcus's Bentley is anything but pitiful. He got 48 from Matty Ice, 10 from Mario Manningham, 16 from Frank Gore, 12 from Santana Moss, who I just can't, you know, the sort of funky guitar line in my head just won't go away. 132 points, so that's better than he was projected, and he was projected to beat me by 20 points anyway. So 132 to 92, that's a pretty big whomping. Jamarcus's Bentley is showing a lot of strength this year, 5-2. Laser Spaniels 1-6, but not Arian Foster's fault. The next game, now talk about strong, Smack Attack. Guy's team this week, he came into this 500, 3-3, and he only got 18 from Alex, #1 overall draft pick Smith, but that's okay because he got 40 points from Kenny Britt. Now really, that's just crazy. He was projected to get 5, but he got 40. What can you say? 20 from Dwayne Bowe, and 26 from Michael Turner, 16 from Percy Harvin, and 21 from the Chicago defense. It adds up to 167. That is really working right there. And DeBiz had a decent day but couldn't compete. Ben Roethlisberger got 40, which is good. Well, hold on. 19 from Hines Ward, 21 from Noshawn Marino. We have a shame bringing. Mike Thomas of Jacksonville was -2 points, so he brings shame to his family. And Beanie Wells shows up with an 11-point game. It adds up to 122. Would have been 124 if not for Mike Thomas. But it isn't even close to enough. It's a bigger whomping than even the Laser Spaniels took. DeBiz drops to 2-5. So Matt's got some ground to make up on the leader. Smack Attack goes to 4-3 and stays in the playoff hunt. We're already talking about the playoff hunt. Isn't that exciting? Now, this is the stupidest thing that I can ever recall anybody doing in fantasy football. Tommy of the Jolly Rogers is playing Miles of Ghetto Superstar. Basically what happened was, and not that, well, I guess as it turns out it would have been real close, but not that this would have guaranteed a win, but in fact I think he would have lost. Tommy decided on Sunday afternoon to to get rid of Eli Manning, and not realizing that he was his starting quarterback for the week, and so he dropped him. And by that time, the only available quarterback, you're going to love this, was Tavares Jackson. And I think Tavares Jackson's available for a reason. So Tommy, and you couldn't grab Eli back because he's on waivers. So Tommy lost 108 to 59. Now, even at that, 59's not great, obviously, but because he got 0 from Roy Stinkpot Williams, 3 from Larry Fitzgerald, who really, frankly, if there were a quarterback in Phoenix, he'd probably do better, and assorted other tails and claws. 0.6 from Denario Alexander. It's just not good. In fact, his star was the Seattle defense. So you know things aren't good when that happens. Ghetto Superstar, on the other hand, had a pretty mediocre day too, but won 108.9 to 59. Now, Tommy and Miles have declared this now a rivalry. They want to sort of have a bitter future rivalry thing. 29 from Kyle Orton. I mean, really. I mean, Marquez Colston 17. 18 from the Kansas City defense. Those guys are good. I'm convinced. And Ghetto Superstar goes to 4 and 3. Tommy drops. Jolly Rogers dropped to 2 and 5. Not good. Ferocious Finnick and Rough the Passer. This was a game that really, I thought Jake was going to win this. I mean, you had, I think Rob got extremely lucky, and I think he would agree. Jake, going into last night, was down by, I think, 60 points. It was really something. But Jake was saying to me all day, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, I'm going to win, because he had Akeem Nicks, Steve Smith, and Tony Romo playing in the Monday night game. He needed a total of, I think it was 61 or 62 to beat Rob, who had finished all his players. And he was on track to do it. He got 22 from Hakeem Nicks, 16 from Steve Smith, and therefore needed, what, about I think 25 or 30 from Romo. But of course, Romo was injured in the second quarter and only had 9.9 points. So had he played the entire game, I think that chances are that Jake would have, in fact, won. But you never know, and that's the way the ball bounces. So Rob kind of caught a break there, and had a great day from, you know, the usual suspects. Phillip Rivers, Adrian Peterson, 23. I know it's a good day. Arian Foster was on bye. What do you want? 15 from David Akers, Philadelphia kicker. How about that? Now, Jake had some, I told you he had some good performances from Nicks and Smith, and 18 from Thomas Jones, 17 from Todd Heath. Good stuff. 115 with an injured quarterback. What's worse than a mid-game injury to your quarterback? That's a tough way to go. But Ferocious Finnick is still 4 and 3. Rough the Passer looking good at 6 and 1. You Betcha and the Eye. Let's see. You Betcha won this game 159 to 129, so it wasn't particularly close. John had, let's see, 39 from Drew Brees, which is exactly what was expected. We got 21 out of Steve Johnson. Who's that? He plays for a team apparently located in Buffalo. 21 points. 16 from Ocho Cinco. And 14.3 from my favorite guy in the league, Peyton Hillis. The only guy better than him is the Cleveland punter. You got to look and see the fake punt, where the punter just runs straight down the middle for like 70 yards and almost scores a touchdown. 23 from Des Bryant, who's finally come alive, and 20 from the Tennessee defense. It adds up to 159, which ain't too shabby. Over on the I side, Mike had 38 from Rodgers, 14 from Terrell Owens. Just a kind of a nice, steady mix. Carnell Williams, Mike Williams, 129, but it wasn't even close. The I drops to 5 and 2, and You Betcha climbs to 3 and 4. All right, and the last game of the week. Smell this against Brutta Is. So we had Drew on the one hand, lining up Sam Bradford. He's really sort of the heartbreak kid as far as I'm concerned, because you think he's going to have one of these games where he has a lot of points, but he doesn't. 22 from Bradford. I think he's one of these guys that's a better real-life quarterback than fantasy quarterback. But the other thing about Drew's day is that he had two guys post bagels, Donald Driver and Hushmanzada. Now, they didn't exactly bring shame to their family, but that's pretty close. And then Marion Barber with 1.3. And then, you know, 4.8s and 5.2s, and it's just not good. About the only bright spot was Bolden with 15, and Drew's unbelievable total was 67.9. So that's not exactly a tall bar to get over. Even Tommy almost beat that with the pulling of his quarterback at the last minute. Brutta Is got 21 from McNabb, 32 from Roddy White, 18 from Maurice Jones-Drew, a fine Bruin. Michael Bush sort of returned to earth with 12, and assorted, 2 from the Denver defense. Adds up to 114, but so we got Mike H. Climbs to 3 and 4. Drew, after a more promising start, drops to 3 and 4. So let's take a look at these standings real quick. The standings look like this. In División del Norte, Rough the Passer has a 1-game lead on the I, and then followed that by the Finnick, so 2 games out there. Over in División del Sur, Jamarcus Bentley has a 1-game lead at 5 and 2, followed by 2 teams at 4 and 3. So we've got 6 teams that are clearly have winning records and everybody else has losing records. So there's a little less balance this year than there has been in past years so far. So we'll see how it goes. What was I going to say? Yes, so let's talk about points. Rough the Passer is basically obliterating everyone in terms of points this year. 988 points. The next most is 870. So that's something. Now You Betcha, on the other hand, a lot of people are scoring a lot of points on him, and so it makes it tough. Even though he's got good points, still has a losing record. So let's take a look forward to Week 8. What have we got going on? I don't know. I'll tell you in a second. Right. Any SmackDown for first you mentioned? I don't know. Who wants to be the rival guy? Oh, I think Drew and Rob are the rivalry game this week. I mean, if Drew wants to prove that he's for real, he's got to beat, Rough the Passer. So Drew and Rob, you guys are the rivalry game this week. I think that's it. I think we've had enough. We've had some crazy stuff happen this week, and it's all pretty entertaining. Talk to you later. Bye.